Besides, you do the editing anyway, so it's not like the. It's weird because it's not like the quality is bad. Actually, from this angle, it looks better than the last video.
Yeah, I think I'm at a better angle too. I think we're all at better angles right now.
From my right side, and I'm not gonna lie, my right side is like my better one, you know, because everybody else has a better side. Yeah, and I like having my picture taken from the right. Mm-hmm. So, I was gonna say, please forgive me. I'm so thirsty. I have a parasite.
Yeah, I got a parasite. Yeah, we all do. We all got parasites around here after watching that movie.
What do you mean, parasite?
Parasite? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Apologize.
No, I'm not gonna apologize. You're a parasite. That's it. Dude, I fucking love that movie, dude. But no, I feel like there's something that, like, this movie in particular, what it reminds me of a lot, is kind of the spirit and kind of, like, the fun of what we grew up with on superhero movies, you know? Like, nowadays, you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's making us feel old. This is going to make us feel old in a way, but it's kind of...
Well, I just saw on Facebook the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, just turned 19. Mm-hmm. It's, next year is the 20-year anniversary, and I don't want to think about that, but
it is crazy. I still remember seeing it. It was my very first. I think I said it on here before. That was my very first movie I ever seen in a movie theater. It was the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
I think it's my very first superhero
movie
in theaters. Yeah. But you're right when it comes to this Venom, because you know it's not a quote unquote Marvel movie. It's
the Sony Marvel. Yeah.
But you could tell it's got that same formula. Like, it almost feels like that early 2000s Spider-Man, in a way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got that nostalgic factor to it. But it brings it into the modern day. Because, like I said, this movie came out 2017,
2018. Yeah, 2018.
So, you know, so it brought that feeling back into the modern day. And I like how you were, when you pointed that out, I'm like, oh yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
It's one of those feelings, you know?
It gives you that feeling when, like, we see, like, X-Men, the original X-Men, or, like, Daredevil. I point towards Daredevil. And that's something, too. That's actually a movie I really, like, just in defense of. So, you know, eventually you gotta defend something.
We're gonna have,
Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil, Jaws of 13. But,
03.
Yeah, 03. Did I say 13? Yeah, 03. Yeah, he
I wish it was that long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 03. That was... And it's funny, a lot of people give Ben Affleck shit for that. I actually think Ben Affleck was a good Daredevil.
I'm not gonna lie, before we started doing this in defensive series, I never really liked Ben Affleck, and it's only because of...
Spill on aisle 7.
We gotta keep that in there.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But I never really used to like Ben Affleck. And granted, the things that I saw him in, you know, I didn't even have that much interest, you know, in the first place in watching it. Mm-hmm. But I was one of those stupid marks that, you know, based everything on who he was as a person. You know, granted, he's with J-Lo. Mm-hmm. He was with J-Lo.
He's with her again now.
Yeah. That woman is a fucking... Jennifer Lopez, you're a nightmare.
You're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I would.
You're women are the devil.
And you are the perfect example of
it. So, hi, honey.
If you marry me, I'll be so happy. No, J-Lo used to be one of my biggest crushes back when I was little.
I mean, she is gorgeous, but bitch is nuts. But anyway, like, his personal choices make it somewhat hard to like him, but as an actor, he gets his roles, he understands them, and he's good at it. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like, rewatching the Batman vs Superman movie, that's why I'm like, okay, he's now one of the best Batmen that we have seen on film. I even now consider him one of my tops.
Hell yeah.
So now I have to go rewatch Daredevil because I haven't rewatched it.
We should do that.
Set of eyes.
We should do that together. Yeah, we should do that together.
So going back to that nostalgia trip with this Venom, you feel that.
Yeah, you do. You really feel it. It feels like like with the music and just the way how it's shot. But like you said, it's more modern. It still has that modern look to it, but just the way that it's shot and it looks, and just the way how the story is kind of, you know, centered, even down to having, now of course there are some, this movie is kind of, you know, it has some kind of, you know, faulties to it, and some of those faulties just kind of go back to the faulties of the old 2000s, late 90s superhero films, you know, where like the villains weren't really great, you know, there was a kind of beat for beat type of plot. And yeah, this film has, it's a simple plot. It doesn't have that deep kind of plot to it, you know. It is, you know, bad guy wants to take over the world type of plot. Which is fits with that, you know, early 2000s stuff, but I feel like we don't get a lot of those anymore, you know, because right now we get a lot of...
We're stuck in the universe mode with everything having a main plot and then it being separated and split into, you know, 16 to 20 different movies.
Yeah, they're all connected.
But they're all connected somehow, even though they have their own little branching side quests. It all is centered around one thing, instead of everything being packed into one movie again, you know? You know, the enemy, right off the bat, we know Carlton Drake. He, right off the bat, he's a manipulative guy that, you know, persuades people to like, oh, we're doing this for, you know, humanity. And, you know, that's every basic villain's go-to saying is, oh, we're doing this for the
biggest manipulation.
Yeah, we're doing this for the good of humanity. It's like, you're full of shit. And the people on the outside looking in, we see that. And then it just plays out perfectly in, you know, in under 2 hours. You know, like, that's the way to go.
The way to go with it. It plays out perfectly. When some movies, I feel like, take themselves too seriously, and that's where you fall into the falter of
absolutely.
films like that. Because they take themselves too seriously, and then you have a really bad villain to where it's like it doesn't fit.
That's the big factor for people who don't like the Marvel Cinematic Universes or the, you know, the DC extended universe now. That's their issue, is that, oh, these movies take themselves too seriously, and... You know, you're right. In that sense, some of them do. Yeah. But then it's nice to see Venom, and, you know, it's just a nice little way to kick back and relax and have a few laughs. And we were talking about that, too. Tom Hardy has this natural way of playing Eddie Brock in... I don't know. It was like he was the perfect combination of a sick, dying man that was witty and had, you know, it was packed with one-liners and... You know, you could tell he was playing it seriously, but also being able to remember that this movie is not a serious superhero. Yeah,
let's have fun with it.
It's a, you know, it's a fun action film. And then he reminds us, like, oh, you know, smile a little bit, laugh about it.
Yeah, that scene in because I always hear there's a big complaint I heard from like other people and stuff, like, oh, we hate that scene when he's in a diner or stuff like that. I'm like, but that was. It was a fun, relaxing thing. I mean, yeah, it was kind of stupid. It was cringy. But at the same time, like, Tom Hardy knows it is, and he's completely aware of it. And I love how he just completely knows, yeah, this is ridiculous as fuck, but I don't care. We're gonna have some fun with it. That's what makes it fun. You're sitting there laughing. You're like, oh, this is cringy, but this is hilarious. Like, this is great.
My favorite scene is when, spoiler alert, I mean, obviously the movie's been out for...
it's been out a couple of years,
now, I guess everybody has to make a spoiler alert.
We always have spoilers in it, so...
Anyway, so the scene where he's jumping through the office building, and then Venom is speaking to him, he's like, jump. And then he's questioning it, and then the next scene, ding, pushes the button for the elevator. Pussy. Like... You know, that's the little scenes that remind us, like, you know, laugh about it.
Yeah, have fun with it, relax, you know, that's what it's supposed to be, and sometimes comic book movies, you just need to have fun with them, you know, that's why, like, all the time, like, I hear some people always say, like, oh, we need more movies like The Joker, we need more movies that serious, and yeah, those movies are
Those are great, absolutely.
They're great, but at the same time, like comic books, are so different, there's such a vast different genres and different feelings.
You got a wider range of, like, we got Batman Year One, and then we have the complete opposite of the spectrum, and Godzilla vs. The Avengers. Yeah. You know, Godzilla vs. the Avengers is supposed to be that just, like, page-turning,
just out of nowhere book.
Goofy one, and then you got Batman Year One, which is literally one of the greatest, darkest comics ever written. You know, it's supposed to be serious. You're not supposed to like smile or be funny about it. It's wow, this is touching.
Hell, let's go back to the original Justice League comic books. They faced off against Starro.
Yeah.
You know, they faced off against Starro. That was in Starro's come back.
Comics.
Yeah, and James Gunn. I can't wait for that. One more week. Hey, one more week.
At the time of this recording.
Hey, at the time of this recording, we're gonna probably be sitting here watching it, or you're gonna probably be seeing our review because we got it planned. We have something planned.
Everything is in the books. We're actually booked up until October. People who are watching us,
for once, we actually
have a plan going. We have
a plan. We actually have a schedule and a plan going, which is cool.
Being responsible adults.
Yeah, responsible businessmen, adults now. That's what we are now. Yeah, we still wear. Look at what we still wear.
Come on. I'm about to be 30 years old. I dress like a teenager.
We're fucking.
I have a lot of unresolved trauma issues. Yeah. Anyway,
I still collect action figures. That's what we are.
Sorry.
But,
sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, I know we're disappointments. Alright, guys, so after that little rant now, here we are again. Dave and Alec here for the In Defense Of and Other In Defense Of. It's been a little bit. It's been a couple
It's been
weeks.
A while. I was going to say, actually, more than that. It's been...
a month, maybe, I think.
more than that.
Oh, God. We're slacking. Hey, like we said, though, we got a schedule now. We got a whole bunch actually planned for you. We actually got some special
I'm excited for the next few months.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Let's just jump right into
it. Jump into right there now, guys. We're back here again, Dave and Alec, for another In Defense Of. And if you guys been here or you're new to this channel or new to this segment on my channel, if you don't know what In Defense Of is, basically me and my buddy Alec, we're big fans of movies, and sometimes we're big fans of movies that not a lot of people like, but we usually find some of the good into the bad of the movies. And this is a show basically where we just kind of express that. We kind of let it all out, let all of our nerdy kind of, hot takes.
We're the outcasts.
Yeah, we're the outcasts.
Just an appropriate analogy for... maybe that's not the word I'm looking for, but the appropriate comparison for what we're watching today. Us being like the outcast and liking movies that not a lot of people like, and then going and seeing Venom.
Yep, and
about a movie about essentially two losers coming together and becoming the best of friends.
Hell yeah. Hey, that's what we are.
The losers. That's the Paul Allen.
Yeah, that's the Paul. If you guys know...
there is no real Paul Allen. YouTube, United States government, CIA, FBI. It's American Psycho's Paul Allen.
Yes.
David and I have a salute, and part of our salute is we want death to Jared Leto's Paul Allen. Not any real Paul Allen. So any man...
Jared Leto.
Yeah, and not Jared Leto. Yeah. Maybe Jared Leto.
Here we are now with basically our new movie of what we're talking about, and that is the 2018 movie Venom, with starring Tom Hardy. And this was a movie when it came out. It was open to some people were liking it, but most people actually didn't really like this movie.
It was stuck in the mix. Like that's how I felt. It just got caught in the blend and. Left to the side.
Exactly. It got caught and been left to the side, but it did make money because of Venom, Venom's a big name character.
$56.1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a number worthy for a sequel. Definitely warrants a sequel, for sure.
Yeah, 800, yeah. Yeah, and, so it made good money back. It made its profit back. It made some of it back, so it warned up for a sequel. Now we got the great Andy Serkis making the sequel, which I'm really excited for that. But
Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, getting Woody Harrelson back as Carnage. I can't wait for that. So it did end up making some money. It did get some attention. It did get some stuff back that I think it deserved. But I don't know. Me and you both agreed that it gets a lot of hate and it gets a lot of put down of people. And I think we both kind of agreed that it's more like. I think
compare it on a mediocre level. Yeah. It's not one of those like people go out of their way to rewatch it again. Mm-hmm. And I find that's In Defense Of it is one of those movies that has a good rewatch value.
It does. Oh, definitely. It definitely because it's enjoyable. It's fun. You're having a good time with it, and what I know, it's people compare a lot to like the Marvel universe because we see a lot of the MCU Marvel universe. They have like Winter Soldier, Civil War, you know, Ant-Man, the first Iron Man. They have all these, like, big, you know, great movies that kind of, you know, stood the test of time. And now we have Joker that came out. Well, that came out a little later, I think. But still, like, we're in this age now of, like, very serious taken, you know, superhero movies. Mm-hmm. And I feel like so much people are kind of desensitized to that in a way, and they go watching Venom thinking this is going to be some, like, big, serious, you know, horror type of movie. And yeah, this does have some horror in it. We pointed out.
Yeah. Coming from the monster movie expert. Yeah. Self-proclaimed monster movie expert. Mm-hmm. You pointed that out at the beginning of the movie. It felt like an alien monster invader movie, mm-hmm. and right off the bat you get that point of view camera angle like in Cloverfield. You know, obviously with the surveillance camera footage, mm-hmm. and then you know, going back, I've watched alien invasion movies dated all the way back to the 50s. Mm-hmm. You know, Earth versus the Flying Saucers. It came from from another planet. Mm-hmm.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, absolutely. Yeah. But you get that feeling right off the bat. Mm-hmm. You know, the symbiotes on the Life Foundation rocket, and then the rocket crashing and infecting people. Mm-hmm. You know, that's classic alien invasion 101. That's even like War of the Worlds, the ship crashing on planet Earth. I mean, granted, it's Life Foundation, it was a human ship, but you know, again,
you connect it.
You make those weird connections.
Yeah, it's a connection.
You make those connections. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you left that.
No, you're good. Yeah, but yeah, there are those connections to it. I like it. It makes it be like, oh, you know, this. It gives you that warm feeling. It's that
that classic Hollywood formula.
Yes, is that classic Hollywood formula, and you know, and it's good to have a little bit of that now, because like we were saying earlier on in this, before we got into the review. It's a good nostalgic feeling that it brings in for it, you know? It's a good nostalgic feeling that it brings in. I like that. I like that monster feeling type that it has in there. I like that a lot that it brings in there. And one thing, too, that we gotta mention, because, you know, there are some bad things in the movie, and we have to admit some of the bad things. And one thing that we both... Yeah, nothing's perfect.
Same for you. Anybody watching, stop being so hard on yourself. Nobody's perfect. Mm-hmm. Anyway... Life advice.
Yeah. Life was 101. Yeah. But no, it's, you know, like the villain, Carlton Drake and him and Riot, basically. I actually kind of like Carlton Drake, the human version. He's actually
he's a classic, not classic, he's a really good villain. He's manipulative. He's somewhat charming. You get that sense of charm.
Yeah, he does have that motivation, that, you know, want to take over the world motivation. But you're right, he has that charm. It's the actor Riz Ahmed. He brings that charm to him. He brings that, because he, too, with Tom Hardy, he's looking at this and he's not taking it too seriously. He's like, okay, this is fun. We're in a comp, but let's have some fun with it. Yeah. And he's doing that, too.
Although he could play a really serious, sadistic manipulator if he wanted to. Like, he really could.
Yeah. But, like, when, like, the Riot, you know, gets into him and stuff, and we have the big final battle scene with Riot and Venom, it's kind of like, this feels a little...
It felt a little too short to me.
It felt short. Way too much CGI, and it kind of was like... it does come with it.
It's going to be very abundant.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess maybe my problem was that they felt like they didn't finish the CGI too much, and they looked too much alike. Like we were talking about too.
Talking about the design being the same. Almost.
Yeah,
Riot had the different skull shape and had the different eye design,
and was a little bit lighter in color,
and
but
bigger,
a little bigger. But as a whole, they're pretty much like it was like the same design, you know. And like when they were fighting around, you kind of were like, who's fighting who? Like it's kind of like that.
Especially when they started like combining, the symbiote started like mashing with.
Yeah, it was kind of like, wait, who's who? Where's it? Yeah, really. Yeah, that's pretty much like, you know, my really complaints. That was really the only time during the movie where we both looked at each other like, okay, that could have been better. That could have been good. But other than that, though, this movie is pretty good, and it kind of, you know, is good for what it is. Like we were saying, it's good for being this, you know, early 2000s type of nostalgic feeling type of movie, and it works. That really saves this movie a lot, too, is actually that Tom Hardy's performance as Venom.
Yeah.
Like, he is freaking great.
Tom Hardy has never put in a bad performance that I can think of.
Not really. No,
a lot of people give him shit for Bane. I liked his Bane.
Yeah, I like
it. Was, and it's not the comic book Bane. It's not the Batman animated series Bane. It's his Bane, and it was his Bane, his take on it.
His and Christopher Nolan's version.
And when it comes to this Venom, he's the comic book Eddie Brock.
Oh yeah, he's straight up. Like, I'm reading it. Like, I told you as I'm watching this, I'm like, and I'm showing you, like, right here we have it. My like right there, I got the Venom comic books, and he's got the Venom DVD right there. I gotta get
my contribution to this episode.
Yeah, his contribution. He's got the original '90s animated DVD, which, if you're from the 90s or just a Spider-Man fan in general, you probably know the 90s Spider-Man. But, when I'm sitting here, like, watching a movie, and I pick up the comic book, look at it a little bit, look at a few more that I have, I'm like, yeah, this is Eddie Brock. This is how Eddie Brock acts. And I like how, like Hardy does, like, a little bit with his voice. He gives himself, like, that New York accent, kind of. He has that, even though he's in San Francisco, he still has that New York
because
accent.
That's Eddie Brock from the comic. Yep, he used to work at the Daily Bugle. He was a New Yorker. And then once he got ran out of the Bugle, he started over in San Francisco. I mean, obviously after the truth, you were explaining after the truths of Spider-Man, like, all right, I'll take the West Coast, and you stay here on the East Coast, like.
Yeah, they made they made their truths went off, which is still a little bit different from in here. And that's another thing, that complaint that a lot of people have, which I don't, which I think it works fine because it. Okay, yeah, Spider-Man is a big part of Venom lore, and Venom is a big part of Spider-Man lore. Yes, that's true. They're like Joker and Batman almost, in a way. I would actually compare them more to, like, Two-Face and Batman, but still, like, Venom can work without Spider-Man if you do it right. And in this movie, they did it right. They did it in a way to where it's like, yes, this is still Eddie Brock. He still has his history. He's still, lost his job. He's still a guy who's still trying to do the right thing, but he always is. He does it wrong.
At the wrong.
Yeah, he does it the wrong way.
He does it in the wrong way.
Yeah, he does it in the wrong way. Sneaking through people's personal emails and then
confronting people, like, before he can actually do anything
and have proof to do something about it. Yeah, he jumps the gun a lot. He has his problems, and Eddie Brock had that in the comics. He wasn't a perfect guy. He made fake Spider-Man pictures in the comic books to sell the Daily Bugle because he was dying of cancer and needed to make money. And Spider-Man kind of humiliated him beforehand, so he's like, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to humiliate Spider-Man then, I'm going to pay back, how do I make some money out of it? And of course, Spider-Man's Peter Parker finds out and forgives him fire. You don't have that in this movie, but you have a certain version of that where he gets caught by his girlfriend and his ex-girlfriend, and we have that in here. And I kind of like that, I like that we have a certain thing of that.
Yeah.
And to me, is kind of, it works, it makes it work. It makes not having Spider-Man in here work for the overall universe. It makes it work for the movie. It's like, alright, I get it. Spider-Man's not involved, but it's still working on his own Venom universe, and I like it.
And then this movie didn't even really imply that Peter Parker or Spider-Man existed in this universe. It's like its own standout thing, with the proper tie-in and respectable nod to the comic books. Yeah,
exactly. You prove it. Yep, you did it. You said it perfectly. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it does, and I like that. And like a little bit too. Like they did. It was somewhat similar to the comics how Venom came to Earth, like the Foundation. But Venom came to Earth in the comics from the Infinity War, actually, comic books, and Spider-Man was on planet, and he attached to Spider-Man as he was coming back down from Earth. And that's how Venom got attached to him after the Infinity War comics. But in here, they did it in a way to where it was a space, exploration, and it came down with that same concept.
Yeah, same concept.
Just it's a little bit different. You had to tweak some stuff, and it's perfectly fine. Comic book movies do that all the time with stuff. And I like that they do. I like how they say true to the character of Eddie Brock and Venom. I like, too, how when the relationship with Eddie Brock
and Venom. I really enjoyed about this movie is their relationship. And all it was one scene for me, is when Eddie starts, the first time he not compares them, but describes them as a we.
Yeah.
It's not like, it, or just the parasite. Yeah. He's like, it's we.
He's acknowledging that it's a living being.
And then from there, you can, like, obviously you don't see the symbiote visually, but you just get that feeling. Because this movie really, gives the symbiote its own character arc, too.
Yeah.
So it makes that symbiote feel like, oh, wait. I mean, to him, that saying probably just is nothing at this moment. But to me, that meant, like, he accepted me. And later on in the movie, you find out, well, on my planet, Eddie, I'm kind of a loser like you, too.
We're both the outcasts.
So that's, Venom admitted to him, like, well, you made me feel like this is home, like, and that's
I like
nice.
this place now. Yeah, I like this. He's like, I like this place now. I like it. And he said, Riot wants to destroy this world. I don't want him to do that. Like, I like it here. I don't want him to do that. And I like you. And you said we're both, like you said, we're both losers, Eddie. We both connect. Like, and I like that too. They have that connectivity because in the comics, again, they connected over their hatred of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and that's what bonded them. And in this, they do it. They connected over, their hatred towards Carlton Drake and Riot. They connected to their, hatred with them in there. So still, again, it's a little bit different from the comic books, but it's still the same concept. And I like that. I like how they did that. I like how they still kept that. And it really works good. And to me... Oh, you're good. No, you're good. And I like that. I like how they did that in this movie for it. It really works good, and I think that as a comic book fan, it makes me feel like they brought Venom to real life. They brought the relationship with Eddie Brock and Venom in real life. I love how they say "we" because that was something I was big missing in the Spider-Man 3 movie with Topher Grace's Venom. Is that it never?
I love Topher Grace, but.
His Venom was Eddie Brock was bad. Yeah, it was bad casting choice. It was a bad casting choice.
Like, at that time, the way that I describe it to people, the only way that I can defend Topher Grace's Eddie Brock was right off of the tail end of the success of that 70s show. And Topher Grace, was the main star of that show for 7 out of the 8 seasons. And then I think it was actually his leave from season 7, after season 7, is the reason he was filming Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So, the studio at the time was like, well, maybe we can capitalize on that popularity wave, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him.
But, with Eddie Brock being played by Tom Hardy now, just the physical aspect of it. Tom Hardy is, I know he's a little on the shorter side, but he's a bulky dude. He's a bulky dude. He's a rough-looking guy. He's got that, 5 o'clock shadow face. Like, he's roughed up, roughs his hair up, and then especially, like, when he's getting sick. Technically, he is getting sick with Venom. And you could see it, like, his baggy-ass eyes, and, I mean, granted, it was probably a little bit of makeup, but who knows? Tom Hardy's the kind of, he's a method actor. He's the kind of guy that would, probably stay awake for 2 or 3 days just to pull it off.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think, who knows? He probably did it for us.
He probably did, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it at all, and I liked how you seen, like, the sweat coming out of him, and how he's just, like hungry. Yeah, he did. Like he needed a fix. He was, like, crawling food in the garbage, needing and puking. It was.
He dips into the tub with the lobsters. He's just like, like, he's all relaxed. I love that.
And then he eats, and he grabs
a lobster.
He's still alive, because that's what he needs. He's alive, because Venom is in there. See, it's hilarious. Like, we have fun with it, and I feel like if some people, if they would just shut off their brains and aren't like, okay, this is not gonna be a movie like The Joker, like The Dark Knight, or like this. It's a popcorn movie.
It's a little fun ride that you're supposed to
take for exactly. Smoke a joint or something. Do something with it.
Don't whatever is the lifestyle that you abide by. Right, David?
Right. Not. We don't do any of that. We're just saying in general.
Anyway,
anywho, but it's that kind of movie where you just have fun with it, sit down, and that's what I like about this, and that's what we need more of these movies, and that's what it really brings out in here.
And those interactions between Venom and Eddie, you could tell, like, they were meant to be serious, and that, that serious, I don't know how to describe it. It's
the serious aspect, like...
Yeah, there was that serious aspect to it, but the way that they interacted, you could tell that they were friends. You could tell that, like, they were just...
They connected.
They were like old friends. They really were like old friends. It's like, we know each other. Granted, it's because the symbiote knew his memories and stuff, but he
I feel like Eddie needed that symbol, like deep and down, he needed that inner
somebody
talk. He needed that inner talk. Someone that is inside of his head is like, okay, Eddie, let's talk. Like, you know, say something to the girl.
Yeah, because obviously he's not good on his own. Yeah. Like, he needs that little bit of help.
He needs that little demon on his shoulder. And that's how I kind of explained to it. The Venom is a little bit kind of like the demon on his shoulder, you know.
It's not all that bad.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, that's what proves it. Sometimes like, the yin and yang to stuff, you know. Yeah. Sometimes you need a little bit of something. I know some people.
That's why I love that ending. It's like, all right, listen, there's good people who shouldn't eat at all. And then there's the very bad people, which, in certain circumstances, would be okay to eat.
I love how he says so. On certain circumstances, we can eat. I was like, so eat them all the time. No, just certain, not all of them.
And as soon as Venom notices bad guy, yeah.
Well, yeah, that dude's a dick, though. I mean, that dude tried to stole money from that lady in the beginning. Yeah, eat his head. Who cares? And I love how, too, like, they don't show it because it's PG-13, you know. They can't show it. But the new one's going to be rated R, which I can't wait for.
See, that's what... There's a few aspects to Let There Be Carnage that I'm excited for. The rated R, the changing of rating and to R, because that's I want to see. I want to see more blood. I want to see more swearing. I want to see more violence. Exactly. I want to see. I said it at the beginning of the video. I want to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Oh, great cast! I love Woody Harrelson casting as Carnage.
And it's great because they made him look like, because I forget what's Carnage.
Cletus Cassidy.
What's it?
Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy. That's right.
Cletus Cassidy.
He looks like Cletus Cassidy in the comic and in the Spider-Man animated series. He looks the crazy, like electrocuted red hair and the bright blue eyes. Like, that looks like Carnage. So it was like, physical-wise, perfect casting.
Yep.
Looks,
and he has that craziness, like in his eye, like he's like, hey, there's gonna be carnage.
I love it. And I will get. He's like, when I get out of here, and I will get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, and I will. And I feel like they're setting up that, and we're probably going to figure out in a sequel that Eddie and Carnage maybe have some history together.
Because again, in the animated series,
they did. And both the animated series and comic books, they were cellmates, and that's how Cletus gets the Carnage symbiote, is that they're cellmates, and he overhears Eddie, like in the animated series, kind of like talking about the Venom, the symbiote, and Cletus is like, I kind of want something like that, and eventually that the offspring of Venom finds Cletus Cassidy, because I think he's looking for Eddie, but Eddie just already gets taken back over by Venom, and he finds Cletus, and Cletus finds him, and they're like, we both are insane, I just want to kill. Let's go together and just kill everyone.
Same thing that Eddie and Venom, they were like, okay, so we got that hatred for Spider-Man, and then they just end up staying together even after the move.
Because they feel like they connect.
That is the one thing. I feel like that's a big reason why, out of all Marvel, anything that has to do with like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or even the comic books, Spider-Man is my favorite. And I think it's really because of the symbiote storyline. I really feel because, they show that the symbiotes they're like humans in a sense. They have, and it's it's based off of that biological term, a symbiotic relationship. So one organism can have a symbiotic relationship with another one, and the symbiotes essentially act like a parasite, but it is a symbiotic relationship, and that's what this movie was really good at representing, was, okay, well, you and I feel the same thing. It's like, you're my friend, but I'm still going to live off of you. And, I mean, obviously in the movie, like, dude, Eddie, your organs are dying. Like, your heart is atrophying. Your liver is, like, you're going into renal failure, and then Venom was like, no, keep it. If you keep me with you, I will keep you alive. Like,
that's what it does.
It's basically, it was a parasite.
It kills
but in a sense, it was a symbiotic relationship.
Whereas if they're together, it keeps alive, but if we split up, then you die. And as in the comics too, that actually is part of the reason why in the comics, why Eddie stayed with the symbiote, is because Eddie was dying of cancer beforehand.
Knew that if he stayed with Venom, he would stay
die. Yeah, he wanted to stay alive because it was eating away, making the cancer worse. Even though it was saving him from the cancer, it was still killing him from it,
It was keeping him on the brink.
Yeah, on the brink of dying alive. Yeah, and that's kind of what it was doing, because it kind of like, so, hey, we're together, and we need each other, it's kind of like we need each other. I need to stay alive for you, and you stay alive for me, kind of, it's like we need each other type of thing. And, it's kind of manipulated in a way, but at the same time, you'd feel love for them, because it's like...
Yeah, you know that they do need each other.
Yeah, they need each other. They really do need each other, and they kind of helped each other at the end. They both got each other. Like I said this during watching the movie, I was like, they both saved each other. Eddie saved Venom from... on his world from being, because I think you can tell that Riot probably was like addicted to Venom on the world. He probably pushed Venom around, and Venom kind of was like the guy was like, hey, why are you trying to take over these world stuff, man? Why can't we just just live on? And I feel like Venom was the kind of that thing.
So I said the character arc of just the symbiotes alone
was talking about an alien symbiote.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Over actors. Yeah, over actual people.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that's people don't notice a lot or don't catch a lot in this movie. That I really want to hone on. That it's very rare that you find connection with an alien creature in a movie, especially an alien creature like a symbiote. We have E.T. and all that, but still, it's hard, because usually they're just there to be alien creatures. Yeah. And hidden other things, speaking of relationships, too, other thing I gotta point out, too, in there, is that I really liked the relationship between Eddie and, I think, Annie. Yeah, Annie,
Michelle Williams.
Yeah, Michelle Williams, yeah. I really like the relationship. Yeah, beautiful guy. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yeah, and I really like their relationship. They had a good camaraderie. They had a good, you actually could tell they cared for each other, that they liked each other. And yeah, Eddie fucked up.
You could tell, and she played that pissed off ex really well. Like the part where he goes to her loft or walks by her place, and then she pops up with her new boyfriend, and then.
I like, too, how that new boyfriend's not that stereotypical douchebag.
He actually was, cool enough to help out. Yeah. That was a nice little unique
you don't hate him.
twist on it. It's he actually...
And Eddie, too, was cool with it. He was like, yeah, Dan's cool. Yeah, cool, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, when she was all pissed off at him, she's like, yeah, he took me down once. Oh, shit. She was willing to take the claws out. But then, deep down, you knew, she still loves him.
Yeah, he still loves him, yeah. She still cares, and yeah. And you do feel that for Eddie, too, that he does actually really care for her. Yeah, he fucked up, and he
knew it, and he knew it.
He did.
And then another great reason why Venom came into his life, because he's like, he helped him. You love her, come on. Mm-hmm. She needs us. And then I love how he's like, she needs us. Mm-hmm. That's what I think he said. She needs us, or she wants to be with us. Yeah. You know it,
and he knows because he was inside of. Yeah, remember Venom was inside of her.
Yeah, so he obviously got a glimpse of her memories. Yeah. And then you and I talked about, because in the movie it emphasizes if the parasite doesn't match with the host, the host will just die. It'll kill the host.
Rejected it.
But it took to her immediately because it's, and you said it the best way possible, is that it's their love and their care for Eddie that he's probably like, all right, well, you're a good host for the time being. You'll be all right,
Mm-hmm. We have this common ground. We have this common thing. We both.
Eddie, that's our Eddie. That's our Eddie.
Yeah, it's our Eddie. We need to save Eddie. All right, let's save Eddie, and that was there because how they kissed and everything. Yeah, that was pretty hot. I mean, I'm sorry. That is pretty hot.
Sorry, honey.
Dude, that was pretty hot. I'm sorry. Female Venom. She's pretty hot, though. And it is, again, another thing right from the comics, too, which is another, when I was watching the theater, I'm like, oh, yeah, it is right from the comic books. Female Venom.
Female Venom?
Yeah, female, there's a female Venom. Yeah, man, got it. Yeah, there's a couple versions. Anti-Venom, female Venom. Yeah, there's a couple versions of Venom. Even Carnage, in a way. Well, I mean, he's the offspring of Venom. So he's like a piece of Venom, because the symbiotes, they reproduce, asexually. Yeah, they just reproduce, and that's what Carnage is like. And that's why I say, too, a theory I have of mine. I think the symbiote Carnage is actually coming, that whole battle, him, remember they formed together, him and Riot formed together?
It's like you said, there's got to be that new twist, because they don't want to take it straight from the comics. They have to put their own cinematic twist on it. So yeah, no, I liked your theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how
Carnage will come about, is from that battle where they're all glopping with each other.
Yep.
Like, that would be perfect.
This Carnage, remember, he does have some of Spider-Man's abilities, because he is an offspring of Venom, which does have Spider-Man. Yeah, but again, this
Spider-Man
is
DNA.
But this is different. It's something too. Do you notice in this movie you never see web string come out of Venom?
Yeah, it's his whole arm. It's his whole arm.
And I like
another creative twist.
There's another creative twist, and I feel like too now they actually have more freedom actually of not having that Spider-Man connection with Carnage, to where they can be just let Carnage go all out with these crazy powers and shit like that. Because then we don't have that connectivity now with Spider-Man. So it's kind of, I feel like that would be really...
Without having to
shoehorn it in, or make it be like, okay, this is how...
Not the mess that Spider-Man 3 was.
Yeah.
Literally, it's the fresh start.
It's a full fresh start for it. And you're right, I like
Justice
that
for Sandman, then.
Yeah, Justice for Sandman. Actually, it's funny. I know there's a little... Well, I'll talk about Spider-Man topic, so I guess this kind of comes into it. You're not hearing from me. I'm not putting anything out there. I'm not a scoop or anything, but I've been hearing stuff that Sandman is gonna, from Spider-Man 3, the same actor, he's gonna be appearing.
Yeah, is he coming? Like, possibly?
It's rumor. Yeah, possibly. It's rumored that he's gonna be coming in Spider-Man 3. Cool. Well, it's actually rumored that a lot of villains. Well, it's actually confirmed. It's not spoiled. It's confirmed that Doc Ock, he's coming back. Alfred Molina, Doc Ock. He's.
Oh, that I'm super excited for. Yeah, I loved his Doc Ock.
I can't wait for that. So, guys, that's pretty much it. What we're
pretty much time to hit the old dusty trail. Shout out to Family Guy on that one.
But that's pretty much our, in defense, that's pretty much our review of a Venom today, guys. That's pretty much our video. We got it. I think we pretty much covered everything that we liked about the movie. Yeah, Venom, at the end of the day, it is a fun movie that is a popcorn-filled fun movie.
Meant to be taken seriously, just sit back, chill, and enjoy the ride kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, again, it's a comic book movie that came out at just I don't want to say an unfortunate time. It just came out at a time where comic book movies are being taken too seriously, and I feel again that's probably the only downfall that it has. But other than that, it's a great ride.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You pretty much nailed it. Yeah, it relates to the comic books a lot too. It takes the lore of comic books seriously, but at the same time, not too seriously to where you feel be like, all right, you're taking it too seriously, you know, and it gives you that nostalgic feeling of like the early 2000s, you know, comic book movies that we grew up on and everything, and it's just a fun movie that you really just need to shut your brain off and just enjoy and have fun with, you know. That's pretty much it. It's not some deep plot. It's not some deep villain. Yeah, the villain is very, very kind of bad. He's kind of a one-note, kind of want to take over the world, mustache-twirling villain, you know. But Carlton Drake still, even with that, does have some interesting layers to him, you know. He's like a manipulative, and he kind of truly does feel this is like an evolution of Earth, of humankind, you know, is being combined in his own way. You know, it's an interesting concept and really cool, and it's honestly, in my opinion, it lays the groundwork for a really excellent sequel, because with the sequel, what they can do is take the good and just build upon what they did with the good, especially with Andy Serkis now. In the trailer, too, have you seen the trailer for it, too? Yeah, the trailer looks exactly like I'm saying, that it looks like Venom, but taking all the good things that worked, like the relationship with Venom and Eddie, the comedy, and the not too taking itself too seriously part, and it's taking all that, but at the same time, maxing it up to 10. And it's going to be rated R with Carnage. I can't wait. Maximum Carnage in there. Oh, God.
Definitely something we have to go see in the theaters together.
We're definitely seeing that together, dude. Because, I can't wait for Maximum Carnage, man. That's going to be good. Let there be carnage.
Let there be carnage.
But, yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on Venom. And we think, you know, again, Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy is a perfect casting of Eddie Brock. He's literally Eddie Brock. In my opinion, he's Eddie Brock. He is the one I look at when I read the comic books and I read all that. That's Eddie Brock to me. In my head, Tom Holland is Spider-Man, and then Tom Hardy is Eddie Brock. In my head, that's how I look at it when I read the comic books and everything. That's how I look at it, you know.
But just imagine that matchup, though.
Oh, God. That'll be good. That hopefully soon. With this multiverse stuff going on, anything's possible now. Yeah, guys, let us know down in the comment section below, and let us know your thoughts on Venom. Let us know your opinions, guys, on Venom. Do you guys like Venom? Do you understand our opinions? Do you agree with our opinions on it? Do you agree with our defense on this? Or
do you like me? Do I look nice?
Do we look good? Just let us know down in the comment section below. Just let us know your guys' thoughts on Venom, and let us know your thoughts on our thoughts on Venom. You know, we always like to know your guys' thoughts.
And I want the Turtle Man back.
Oh yeah, the Turtle Man.
Our classic Turtle Man. Where'd you go, Turtle Man?
Yeah, where'd you go? Do we miss you? We miss you. We need you back. We need you back. But guys, on that note, make sure you guys do keep a lookout on a lot of our In Defensive coming up soon. We got some reviews coming up soon. Actually, some regular reviews that aren't necessarily In Defensive, but just reviews that we have planned. I just want to help him out. Yeah, he's coming on the channel, giving me a second hand on here, so I don't have to talk all the time. Give someone else some talking time, you know. Help my voice out. But, you know, we're going to be back here pretty soon, guys. Like I said, we got a lot planned coming up soon, and make sure you guys subscribe. If you're looking forward to that, make sure, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video. You know, it helps us out, helps me out, helps this whole channel out grow, helps the community grow. We love coming out here and doing this. And no matter what, even if nobody likes this video, we're still going to come out here and do this, you know, videos, because it's fun. You know, we like doing this. We always say we like doing this.
It's always my pleasure, my friend.
But on that note, guys, thank you again for watching, guys.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Until next time, guys, I'm Dave.
And I'm Alec.
And this is In Defense of.